Hey everybody. I wanted to take a moment to define communication apprehension for everyone. So, from the lecture slides, it states that communication apprehension is the fear or anxiety associated with real or anticipated communication encounters. And I wanted to take a moment to actually pay a little closer attention to this part of the definition real or anticipated, because communication apprehension is an emotional state that you feel not only when it's happening, but kind of preparing for that specific communication event. So what I mean by this is that we feel communication apprehension the moment we know we have to come up and deliver a presentation. So when you know you have to deliver a speech 1 week from today, you can have already feel that kind of fear, anxiety, worrying before you actually deliver the speech. But it doesn't only happen in a public speaking context. So let's say you get a call for a job that you really want, right? And they ask for you to come in for an interview 2 weeks from today. There's a possibility that the moment that you hang up the phone, you have some kind of fear or worry or anxiety because, of course, you want to do well in that interview. That fear also falls under communication apprehension. But it also happens with relationships, right? So let's say your significant other texts you and says something, that dreaded text, we need to talk with sometime when you get back, right? That whole we need to talk text could trigger your communication apprehension. And then even when you go on dates, right? Especially blind dates, you never know what's gonna happen. You never know what you're gonna say or how you're gonna say it or what they're gonna say. And so with that fear, that anxiety, all of that, even though it's not a public speaking context, still falls under the communication apprehension umbrella. And the key thing that I want you to remember before you take the quiz is that out of 100 people, 20% of the population have high levels of communication apprehension. 60% of the population have moderate levels of communication apprehension. And the 20% left over have low levels of communication apprehension. So the way I always remembered it and explained it is if it's high and low levels, it's 20%. If it's moderate levels of communication apprehension, it's 60%. So as you can see, majority of the population have some degree of communication apprehension. So the big thing I want you to take away from this little video is that you are not alone. We all have some fear, some anxiety before we come up and talk, whether it's in a public speaking context or in interpersonal context. Email me if you have any questions. I'm only one email away.